Hello everyone, it's Partyfoot back with another episode of Mechabellum Commentary. Here we are once again loading into a game, selecting our starting units. What are we going to go for today? Our opponent has a particular number. This, no doubt, is a very, very special number to them, which is why they've chosen to go by it as a moniker. And I was actually AFK for the start of this game. Believe it or not, the first round, I was Alt-Tab and did not notice the start of the game. So, okay, why am I uploading this game then, I guess? Well, I don't know. It went interestingly. We deployed in a square sledgehammer block formation and chose not to get any additional units on round one. Is that a strategy? Yes. Okay, I'm going to say that that's our strategy. We're an aerial specialist. Our opponent is a fortified specialist. Our opponent goes for level 1, round 1 Phantom Ray with a field recovery. That's crazy behavior. So, I didn't even see this because I was, of course, in La La Land. I was listening to some sweet metal. Death Clock is my latest interest, listening to the Death albums. That's Death with a no A, of course. And, of course, we are AFK, so we are just going to get into the first round. And then I kind of was sitting there on my computer, and I was like, wait a second. I hear ticking. And then I went across, and I was like, oh, too late. And so, round 1 is not maybe going to go that well, but, I mean, to be honest, it could be worse. I think sledgehammers were, if you had to roll a random unit to start in a random position, sledgehammers aren't the worst for that. Definitely a massacre still, though. And since our opponent did this kind of shenanigans, selling his Mustangs for Phantom Rays, I mean, I guess we could have lost anyway to that aerial switch. So now we're like, whoops. We're going to have to do something about that. Typhoon. Our opponent sells out of the Mustangs too. He sold out of both packs of Mustangs. Turn 1 and turn 2. What an interesting play. Then he goes as though he planned it from the start. Typhoon sandwiched in there with the Phantom Rays. This seems to be a very popular deployment. Crawler, Typhoon, Phantom Ray. I've seen that out of multiple different people. We'll see how it works for our opponent. I am now playing the game. Hello, I'm here. Looking a little bit sheepish. Putting Typhoons on the flanks. Trying to maybe absorb some of these chaff units. And obviously, we've got a decent number of units in the middle here anyway already, so I don't know really how we're going to utilize this. Bit of chaff as well. No longer Mustangs here, which we would have liked to have faced more than opponent Typhoons. Although, Typhoons are just slow at killing other Typhoons, so at least they don't really counter each other. We still do take down almost all of those rays. This guy just has enough HP to come down and cause a big problem. That nice new HP effect. We do get debuffed. This 2v1 might actually end up going against us, despite the numbers advantage. And he's got his reinforcements coming in. Can we take down one more to limit the damage? We can. And actually a Phantom Ray on top, so not too bad. We'll just very slowly lose the DPS war here. Cool units, Typhoons. Efficient Giant manufacturing. Assault Rhino, improved Saber. Berserk Rhino. I don't think I know really when you would go Berserk Rhino, really. We go for improved Saber and pick up a pair of those. I noted that those Typhoons were the ones that were surviving. I think that Sabers should be pretty good at taking down Typhoons. Does look like they need 2 shots to kill them, which is a little bit unfortunate. With our own Typhoons clearing out the chaff. Oof, they went down quickly. Burst mode on the Phantom Rays. Very effective at taking down these single entity units. Wow, look at that. It really turned the tide from the round before, where it didn't look like the Phantom Rays were having a lot of effect. Doesn't look like Phantom Rays are very good against Fangs either. And probably, I guess, a bit of a low amount of splash without perhaps HE. This Typhoon is just eating. And now we have perhaps the funnest round of all time, where our single tank slowly walks around destroying towers while his single Typhoon does the same in a clockwise direction. Obviously both making sure they get the next most valuable target and then finishing each other off in a duel at the end. Hair Tower goes down first. I don't think a single sledgehammer is going to be able to take down this tower. He's actually going to get shot from behind. Not even an honorable duel to finish out the round. Opponent should be ashamed of himself. Efficient light manufacturing. We both snap that pretty quickly. That means cheaper sabers. That's offsetting the cost of the improved saber, which does reduce the attack interval, making these guys a little bit higher DPS. So, getting pretty vicious in single target at that point. Our opponent does the exact same deployment again on our flank. So now, basically going solely into this strategy. Somehow confident this is going to work. Meanwhile, we're getting Marksman, kind of naively thinking he's not going to just keep doing more of the same thing. But, you know, in kind of in a response to these Phantoms. And then we see this flank coming in and it's, oh, that's bad news. I don't know. So, what is your strategy for dealing with this? Because we know what he's going to do. Now that he's done, now that he's gone on the flank, now that he's built all these positions, symmetrical positions, he's going to hit the shield upgrade. He's going to do it, for sure. So, I've had a game recently where I seriously regretted not going for Suicide Rhinos. Can our Marksman take this guy down? It might actually be possible. The duel of the century. He does win the round. Huge damage on our opponent. There's the anti-interference module again. Extended range sledges, deployment. Vulcan's Descent though. Sure, I'll try that, is what I thought. We level the tower on the flank as well to try and keep off any potential flanking activities. Which, you know... Our opponent grabs the homing missiles on the Typhoons as well. So, a crazy barrage of missiles and way more units coming in on the flanks. Here's our response. Suicide Rhinos. And Marksman on the flank too. I wasn't sure if this would one-shot the crawlers that well. I think maybe what I failed to do here was grab Whirlwind as well, so that the Whirlwind would swirl, murder all these guys, then the explosion would blow the shield up, because I think what will happen here, by the way, great positioning on these Fangs who get caught in the explosion, it does take down the Typhoons, so our opponent grabs another position over here, and despite the fact that we basically see exactly what he's doing, and we kind of like, oh, he's gone over here, okay, well, yeah, we didn't really anticipate that, but we did armor up this tower a little bit, so tried to mitigate that. You know, we've gone for more Marksmen, which theoretically are quite good into these, you know, these units. We are now cleaning up a little bit, but we're still really struggling. Look at this burst, ooh. Isn't a good rocket barrage just so fantastic? Who doesn't love a rocket barrage? I mean, you know, probably anyone who's experienced a rocket barrage, but, you know. Go Fangs, go. So much HP on our opponent, though. The Fortified Specialist is not going down without a decent workout. 4 Arc Lights. Oh, so many deployments. 3 Void Eyes, though. And I figured this was just a disaster dealing with this, right? Putting these Fangs here that died of the detonation. Oh, gosh. Wasn't that a bad choice? Yeah, these Sabers are doing okay. We figure we need maybe some more DPS to deal with the larger units, so that's why we pick up the Void Eyes. Our opponent grabs the shields now. The Rhino now, I think, will only blow up the shields, leaving a large number of crawlers coming straight into towards our then depleted Fangs and Void Eyes. So our Typhoons on the flanks to hopefully try and help with that. Leveling up these marksmen as well, because they do deal a little bit better with those rays when they have a few levels. Those rocket barrages taking down units pretty quickly. This is brutal. This traffic jam in the middle was such a big nerf. Don't go AFK if you can avoid it, obviously, I guess. Phantom Rays on this side, still alive, taking down our Void Rays, getting experience. We do win this flank. So many Typhoon missiles. And Typhoons remaining. Losing the tower. Felt like we could maybe have come back with, you know, if both of these marksmen had lived. These Void Eyes are still doing pretty good damage too, so they're filtering in and getting shot, but then the missile barrage actually proving that it does have some decent value, even though it feels a little lackluster in certain situations. Really big barrages of missiles coming out. I don't think anti-missile's that good against these barrages either, because it's a lot of missiles in a tight package. There's the advanced power system. I noted that some of our units have been placed pretty far back, so I thought maybe with a bit of extra movement they could join the fight more quickly once they're dealt with their duties. Yeah, this is hard to deal with. And our opponent goes for Mech Rage on the Typhoons. I mean, he didn't level the Typhoons, which is interesting. Then I went Mustang. Maybe this is the wrong choice. Perhaps this is where we really deviated from the truth. But what I was wanting is something to deal with any of these crawlers that were coming out and shoot down these Phantom Rays. Our opponent has shields but no armor. So, level 2 Mustangs. Big explosion. Takes down the shields, which is nice. And these units are now going down pretty effectively on this flank. And the same over here. So, the Mustangs are working, initially, here. But there's a lot of Typhoons in the front now. And they're onto our tower. Tower is leveled. So we are able to keep it alive. Okay, so here's an example of it not going so well. All those missiles targeting a single Mustang, I think. Not a particularly good use of that power. Okay. A swing back in our direction. Round 7. We're both still looking reasonably healthy. Bit of a longer game. Overlords. Fortress. Melting points. We both go for the fortress. Our opponent sells in order to buy more Phantom Rays, more Typhoons, and more crawlers. We've got loose formation on these crawlers too now, and shields on the Phantom Rays now. So like this three unit combination just like wins. This is not that much chaff. But I guess it's the problem is the shields keep the chaff alive. Maybe I should have been Scorpion here already, right? Perhaps that would have been the way. Scorpion to really nail those Typhoons quickly. Because we've definitely sorted the Phantom Rays at this point. Barrier for our own Typhoons. 2 can play at that game, sir. Range on the improved Sabers. I don't know how well they're really working. I guess they are leveling. Big explosion taking down those shields. We tried a detonation in the middle there as well, I think, with another Rhino. Seeing if we get more value out of it. I guess we could have put Rhinos all along the flanks. We do win on this side, and we win on this side too. But this extra deployment he had here pushes through onto the tower. We're folding. Folding! Our fortress goes down. 58k. Decent, but not good enough. Ugh. Some poor guy there got his body just like blasted and blasted and blasted. Round 9, and now we are starting to feel the pain and get into a critical spot. Incendiary bomb comes up. Rhino assault. Incendiary bomb not useful against him because he's got shields everywhere. We did notice though that he's extremely exposed in the back, so Vulcan on one side, Rhino on the other. Having said that we are reasonably shielded, this stupid wedge of this punishment that we had for our lack of attendance is now going to be punished. Or the punishment is exercised, I guess. We level, we put anti-air on there. We know that these guys are going to keep, hopefully dealing with these Phantom Rays, which now have shields, so the marksmen are no longer that good against them at all, if they ever were. A few more Mustangs to try now with that additional investment. Try and push the tide back in our favor. It's such a strong combination. It's so really, how can this not be countered by this random nonsense that I'm doing? Random ranged improved sabers, Typhoons distributed, strewn across the field, and anti-air Mustangs. Even though we're already defeating the air fairly well, and really it's just the Typhoons around focus. How dare you turn back this way? They were there. Both towers go down. The fire, devastating, but the firepower coming out of these packs who do survive. Shield's still up. Oof. Everyone's getting shot down. This Rhino is still alive. Doing a bit of a moonwalk on the spot, and we take our opponent down to a more critical level too. Both of us could survive another round, but we also could now die at any time. We're both in that critical range for a sweeping victory. I level my Mustangs. Try to keep them as well fed as possible. I think I'm over-concentrating on dealing with the Phantom Ray component and under-appreciating the Typhoons. I'd kind of considered the Sabertooths to be the solution to the Typhoons. They are doing hundreds of thousands of damage each. Well, not this one, because that's kind of exposed. So maybe at this point I am thinking to myself, what do I need to make this better? A few more Sabers might help. That stealth is also a pretty interesting option. It can really mess with the outcome of battles. And the opponent's just adding more and more and more and more and more. A couple Arclights in here, but that's pretty much the only deviation from the rule. And he is leveling everything too, it looks like. Definitely worth leveling the Typhoons. I don't know about the math on the Phantom Rays. I've never really felt that level Phantom Rays seem to be very good, except maybe to burst down larger targets that can't fight back. Yeah, they're great against Vulcans. We had 500 money left at the end and thought, why don't we try and save this guy's life? Yeah, because it's not going to work, that's why. That was a little bit of a wasted investment. Oh. struggling with the full arc here. That's a lot of particles coming out. A lot of Typhoons just gunning us down. Oh no. We couldn't do it, it's all over. Our opponent built 3 units and just kept building 3 units, and I was unable to defeat him. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. Surely, okay, so what should I do here, I guess? Let's have a bit of a critical analysis here. I think something more serious to deal with the ground, because it's the Phantom Rays doing the damage, right? They're clearing out all of my Typhoons, they're clearing out all of my Sabers, and they're killing basically everything. The Typhoons are just clearing the chaff. But yeah, I don't know, maybe Scorpion. Maybe Scorpion's the answer. Take down the shields quickly. That means that our Typhoons can take down the chaff, which then means the missiles are coming out too. We definitely don't want to go Missile Interceptor on our Mustangs. I think that would have been a huge mistake. We could have put down some static missile interception devices though. But I think these burst missiles are probably not that susceptible to being intercepted. What else can you do here? I think these Phantom Rays do, like, beat bigger units. We had the anti-air, though. We really did. All we needed to do was get through these shields quickly and deal to these Typhoons so that they couldn't just kill all of our Mustangs and be left standing. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining. If you know, want to leave the first comment ever on my channel, so far as I'm aware at this time, you know, let me know what you would do against this, you know, pretty basic strategy. You know, maybe next time I can deal with it a bit better. Suicide Rhino? Like, well, you know, here's a tip. Don't put your fangs right next door. I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't also taking down our shields. I didn't notice that if it did happen, so blissfully ignorant, I guess. Alright, thanks a lot for watching. This is Partyfoot with another one, signing out.